There's been a delay in jury selection in the striking trial of Sean Diddy Combs. The judge postponing the last phase of the process until Monday.
He sent somebody through somebody else to try to get in contact with me, telling me enough is enough.
Literally just leaving the federal courthouse. Lots happened today. The big thing is there is still no jury.
Witnesses have suddenly disappeared, and jurors are reportedly backing out as Diddy's trial faces yet another delay. Allegedly, Diddy is pursuing legal action against his former bodyguard for speaking out against him. Cassie, who is scheduled to testify against Diddy this week, is now facing threats, with some reports suggesting she might require witness protection. The whereabouts of witness number 3 remain a mystery, and rumors are swirling about why jurors are fearful of speaking out against Diddy. Let's take a closer look at what's really going on.
Of a jury in the Sean Diddy Combs case almost complete. Prosecutors are preparing for opening arguments on Monday, but they admit there's a snag. One of their key witnesses against the rapper appears to have gone missing. This comes as we learn that Combs' ex-girlfriend, who was seen on video being assaulted by the rapper, is pregnant. Here's Les Trent.
Is a key witness in the Sean Diddy Combs trial backing out? Victim number 3, as she's called, was set to testify against the music mogul. The name of victim number 3 was going to be revealed when she took the stand, but the woman has apparently gone missing, and prosecutors say they've been unable to reach her.
People just get nervous, and this person could just be nervous and just has had second thoughts.
If the prosecutor can't find this witness, how might it affect the case?
Look, I don't think it's going to have a tremendous effect. The prosecution is going to call a number of alleged victims. So look, this is just one less.
Someone else is also getting cold feet. A juror sent an email to the judge asking to be removed from the panel for issues of personal well.
Prosecutors have now revealed that victim 3 is missing, with reports suggesting Diddy may be involved in their alleged disappearance. Diddy has a history of targeting those who speak out against him, and it's worth noting that he has previously attempted to contact and intimidate witnesses, even from within prison. The situation continues to raise serious concerns as the trial.
I mean, on the surface, if the prosecutor's claims are true, this seems like pretty much textbook witness tampering, right? I mean, it appears to be an effort to either, in some cases, intimidate witnesses from testifying against him, or there have been other reports of sort of inducing people to make statements in his defense. There was some allegation that in one instance this was a statement that he, in essence, dictated or drafted with a woman who made a statement that was attempting to rebut one of the accusers, I believe, in a civil case against him. I mean, witness tampering is bad. The things that Sean Combs is accused of are terrible. He pleads his innocence. The justice system will presumably work its way through.
It is likely that there is some underlying truth to at least some of the allegations. There might be a lot of underlying truth to a lot of the allegations. There's probably some bandwagoning going on. We spoke to an attorney who's for one of the alleged victims of Diddy a few weeks ago. I believe Amber Nomiki and I did, and they said they had calls, they had information, they had people, hundreds of them, come forward. They're not going to represent all of them. They're which ones have evidence that can be compelling. What are the best cases to bring that? I also saw a story in the New York Post. This is from a week ago about Diddy stuff that I wanted to read the headline of. Woman claims she saw minors dressed as Harajuku Barbies at Sean Diddy Combs' freak-off parties. What he was describing there to Conan so many years ago. Said these were sex-fueled parties with what she initially thought were little people dressed as Japanese Barbies. And she said, this is her talking to TMZ, are those midgets? And she actually thinks they were kids dressed up in sexy.
Oh, gross.
So again, that's just from someone who provided this information to TMZ for a documentary. Yeah. But pretty disgusting.
It is.
Call records from the Metropolitan Detention Center, where Diddy is being held, have revealed troubling evidence. Diddy reportedly attempted to pay off witnesses, with one instance showing he called a victim 200 times in an effort to intimidate and bribe them. In a calculated move to avoid detection, Diddy would have his family members dial into calls, then ask them to add a victim or a witness to the conversation, making it harder to trace who he was speaking to. Additionally, Diddy's former bodyguard, Gandil, received a message from him, demanding that he stop speaking out and warning that enough was enough.
And you right about Diddy phone being tapped, because news came out that his former bandmate from Dirty Money, she called the other group member Dunn 58 times trying to get her to stop the lawsuit against Diddy.
She ain't the only one he was trying to get in contact with. You understand? He sent somebody through somebody else to try to get in contact with me, telling me enough is enough. Oh, okay. You tell Big Mama that enough is enough. You can't tell Wolf Mama enough is enough. You tell D Ferg Mama enough is enough. You understand? You tell all those people who supported you and they survivors enough is enough.
You didn't tell me about this. So he tried to get somebody to reach out to you?
No, I got a phone call from Kirk Burrows. And Kirk Burrows, and I ain't gonna even get this guy no play. Not Kirk Burrows, but one of the Puff dudes that I know that's real close to him said, Kirk told me, yo, he want to reach out to you, Gene. He want to speak to you. I said, speak to me for what? What do you want to speak to me for? If he's trying to speak to me, it's for Puff. Point blank. I know the dude. I know how close he is to Puff. He's been with Puff from day one. So he ain't got nothing to say to me, bro. But Kirk Burrows did say to me that the dude said enough is enough. When do it becomes enough?
This is relayed to me by Kirk Burrows. This guy is like this with Diddy. You seen him on Drink Champs with him. You see him walking the streets in Miami with him. The whole 9 yards. So I'm saying to him, what does he want to talk to me for? He ain't got nothing to say to me. He said, yo, Gene, he said enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Enough is enough to what? And I told Kirk Burrows, yo, if he wanted, I said, he don't want to talk to me for himself. He wanted to talk to me for Diddy. And I ain't got nothing to say to him. He ain't said enough is enough to Wolf Mother when he cursed out and told her all kinds of shit. Did he say enough is enough to Big's mother? What do you mean enough is enough? And that's how that conversation went.
How did you feel about it after you were done?
I felt that, like, because they must have got at Kirk Burrows, because Kirk called me with the bullshit. Yo, you got to fix that. You know this. Man, God, excuse me. Listen here, bro. I don't care nothing about none of these industry cats and what they do and how they do it. That's their business. You understand? I don't tell a man how to screw his wife and how to spend his money. You don't tell me what I got to do with my time. Point blank.
You know, do you feel like at some point Diddy could try to come after you or do something? You know, being that he's went after a lot of people. You know, he's did a lot of stuff. As you know about.
Cam, let me tell you something, man. If I worried about what somebody would do for me, I wouldn't be.
Gene Deal witnessed firsthand the extent of Diddy's abusive behavior, and it wasn't until Diddy allegedly attempted to drug his girlfriend that Gene realized things had gone too far. Despite Gene's efforts to intervene and stop Diddy, it became clear that Diddy had no intention of changing his ways, continuing his reckless actions without concern for the consequences.
Parties I seen, I knew that they were spiking drinks. My girl was at the New Year's party, right? I'm at the front door. I got to make sure everybody got their passes and everything like that. So then my girl and her girlfriend is in the party. So they get bottles of champagne. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking for them. After everybody comes, they close the door. So I'm going knocking in doors, looking at people. I'm looking for my kid's mother now. What the fuck? What's going on? And I'm getting hysterical. So I decided to go to the car, and I looked in the car. She was in the car asleep. She said, Gene, we started drinking the champagne, and I didn't feel good. And me and Debbie came here and went to sleep. And my whole thing about it is that Puff wasn't right what he did to people around us, man. He wasn't right what he did to people around us. him being hard-headed, not listening, and not telling the truth and constantly lying cost a lot of people their lives, man. It cost a lot of people their lives. I want him to understand. When I told him, if we don't do something to these doors, people gonna die tonight. And forget, and I want to say F what other people say. Everybody know I told him that. Our whole crew know I told him that. From Slick to Nord, Bunny, Big Boy, Eddie, all the people that was with us that night. No, I told him that. 9 people end up dead.
Gene Deal was the only member of Diddy's team who didn't sign an NDA, which is why he's able to expose the secrets surrounding Diddy's actions. Diddy reportedly made everyone involved in his private parties sign non-disclosure agreements to prevent them from speaking out. There are disturbing allegations that women who worked for Diddy and Bad Boy Entertainment were allegedly pimped out to executives at other record companies, a dark side to the entertainment industry that Gene has now been able to shed light on.
I know you ain't signed it. I know you ain't signed an NDA, clearly. But did Diddy make his artists sign NDAs and people that work for him?
Well, a lot of these rappers, a lot of these industry people, anybody who does business nowadays with the internet, they have NDAs, non-disclosure. That means that if you work for them, you around them, you can't disclose any of the information about them. It's the same thing that he gave to all his artists when he gave them their publishing back. I'm gonna give y'all publishing, but y'all can't talk about Janice Combs, Justin Combs, Sony, Bad Boy, or anything that happened. Y'all can't talk about none of that. But there's some artists that didn't say anything, that didn't sign it, and they able to talk about anything they want to.
Diddy is reportedly growing increasingly worried about the possibility of ending up behind bars' jury selection nears its conclusion. With his options running out, he is believed to have resorted to intimidation and violence in a desperate attempt to avoid facing justice. However, this case may involve more than just Diddy. Bigger names are allegedly tied to the situation, and if Diddy falls, they could very well be dragged down with him. In a surprising twist, jurors were given a list of high-profile celebrities who weren't even mentioned in the lawsuit, leaving many wondering what bombshells the prosecutors may be preparing to reveal as the case unfolds.
And Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, and more celebrities were name-dropped at Sean Diddy Combs' trial. As jury selection in the mogul sex trafficking trial got underway May 5th in New York, NBC News reports prospective jurors were shown a list of more than 100 names of people and places that may be referenced during the trial, including actors Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, and rapper Kanye West. While the aforementioned celebrities are not implicated in the case, the potential jurors were asked whether they knew any of the names listed and whether it would impact their ability to be impartial, per the outlet. Attorneys did not share an explanation for the list. The names of women who have taken legal action against Combs were also on the list, including his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, whose November 2023 sexual abuse lawsuit against the rapper was settled one day after it was filed. Danity Kane alum Don Richard, who accused Combs of sexual assault in a lawsuit filed in September, was also listed. Combs has denied any wrongdoing in both cases.
The candidates are being asked about their own connections to or impressions of an array of celebrities, and with no explanation why, at least not yet. The parlor games have begun, my friends. Everybody is trying to connect the dots between the shiny, famous names and the beleaguered rap star Diddy and the charges. Just today, the name Robert Downey Jr. came up in court. When a prospective juror said that he knew a Robert Downey in high school, it was kind of funny. But Robert Downey, the actor, and Diddy apparently do know each other and have been seen together in public. But Robert Downey Jr. reportedly never attended Diddy's parties. So if he does figure into this trial somehow, it's going to be a lot of news to a lot of us. Mike Myers, another favorite Canadian, favorite actor, favorite comedian. He is on the jury question list as well. And that too is a tongue-wagging mystery.
Some of Diddy's associates are being name-dropped in connection with the case. Others have already begun distancing themselves from the spotlight. aware of the severe backlash that's coming. In a dramatic turn of events, Diddy was reportedly offered a plea deal that would require him to turn on those he worked with. This could potentially implicate even more powerful figures, and the pressure is mounting as Diddy faces the consequences of his actions.
Big breaking news tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and cell phones. Several members of administration have resigned, some of them also friends of Mayor Adams. Again, Eric Adams, the 110th mayor of New York, has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We'll have the latest online and tonight on Eyewitness News at 11.
This was a shock to many in the religious community. Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands. Now he says it's time to pass the baton to a new generation.
This is a beautiful moment for me.
From the pulpit Sunday, Bishop T.D. Jakes announced that he was stepping down from leadership at the Potter's House, the Dallas megachurch he founded in 1996 and has led ever since.
I cannot afford, especially after November, to risk something happening to me and you be sheep without a shepherd.
This is video from the service Jakes is referencing in November. It wasn't until months after his medical incident that he confirmed to the public he had a heart attack. Now, 5 months later, he told his congregation he had been preparing his daughter, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts, and his son-in-law, Pastor Torrey Roberts.
With witnesses now at risk and no longer safe, jury selection has been paused and Diddy's trial has been delayed. It's becoming increasingly clear that some witnesses may need federal protection to prevent Diddy's associates from reaching them and sabotaging the case. The stakes are higher than ever as the legal proceedings continue to unfold under growing scrutiny.
Literally just leaving the federal courthouse. Lots happened today. The big thing is there is still no jury. They're so concerned about jurors backing out over the weekend once they find out that they're actually on the jury, that they're going to bring 43 of them back on Monday morning. They're going to strike them and then go right into opening statements. Part of that is because they received an email overnight that one juror backed out. She was like, this is just too much. I can't do it. Too much pressure. They had to strike another juror who did not give accurate information. He's engaged in a lawsuit with the city of New York and forgot to mention that. I have been in court every day this week. I've been in court every day since this whole case started, and I will be here every day in the courtroom.
A delay in jury selection in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. The judge postponing the last phase of the process until Monday. Here's ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky.
This morning, Sean Combs is preparing to stand trial on sex crimes charges that could send him to prison for decades. The 12 people who will decide whether he's guilty are expected to be seated first thing Monday after lawyers make cuts from a pool of more than 40 prospective jurors. The judge initially wanted to do that on Friday, but changed his mind out of fear that jurors, if they had the weekend to think about it, would get cold feet. Once the jury is sworn, attorneys will deliver opening statements and the first witnesses will testify. Among them, Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, one of the women federal prosecutors say was coerced into drugged-up sex marathons.
Leaked calls from the MDC have further exposed Diddy's attempts to buy the silence of his accusers. In a similar fashion, Jay-Z reportedly did the same when he was mentioned in a rap lawsuit connected to Diddy. In that case, the victim was allegedly offered $10,000 to drop her case, which she ultimately did. This raises serious questions, especially considering the sudden withdrawal of victims and jurors just days before the trial. It's becoming increasingly clear that there may have been threats involved, as it's hard to ignore the pattern of intimidation and pressure that appears to be influencing the course of this case.
Combs is facing new accusations tonight of attempting to pay off witnesses in his sex trial. case even while behind bars in Brooklyn. Prosecutors filed papers overnight saying a jail sweep uncovered evidence. Combs recently paid off an unnamed witness who had posted a statement to Instagram in what prosecutors say was an effort to try and taint the potential jury pool. The filing also accuses Combs of using phone accounts for at least 8 other inmates. Combs' legal team continues to ask the judge to give him a bail option, but prosecutors are again arguing bail should be denied.
Having $75 million at his disposal, isn't that by nature the exact thing that they're worried about? If you have this much money, that you could make this thing, you could probably make people disappear if you really opted to.
See, this is the thing. That'll just make more trouble. Why would he make more trouble now? He done already bought off and paid off everybody he possibly could. Have you looked at the indictment? Like, he called some witnesses up to 54 times.
Yeah, 200 and how many Angel? 206, 200 something people he tried to reach out to.
Like, what are you running, a telethon or a telemarketing agency? Telemarketers don't make that many calls in one day. Or sometimes not even in a week, all depending on you was on that. You down for Diddy?
What happens with exposures? You make yourself vulnerable to all kinds of attacks, seen and unseen. What happened to my friend? When he passed away, there was $250,000 on my head and $150,000 on his. But what if I had decided to go back with my head held low and said, Sean, I'm willing to play the game, and then found a way to get inside of him and move him around